What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Vivo here, and this commentary is going to be about Call of Duty 10. Now the reason I'm playing World at War is because Modern Warfare has a trilogy and also Black Ops 2 does, and Black Ops 1, sorry. So excluding Call of Duty 1, 2 and 3 because they're just shit, that only leaves World at War. And after Modern Warfare, the Call of Duty franchise became the most popular first-person shooter. And probably also before Modern Warfare 1 you've never heard of Call of Duty. Not saying you don't know now, but before Modern Warfare 1 came out, you probably didn't know who the fuck they was. So let's get started. Now a fellow commentator made a commentary based around some leaked information on the Call of Duty series, and he said that it's going to be based in modern. It's going to be based around modern guns, but based in the future. And I will link the whole commentary so that I don't have to re-say his whole commentary because it's not my information. Now, the first topic, expanding on the supposed name that he said, was Call of Duty Ghosts. Now, I found the word ghost significant because in terms of war and secret services, the word ghost means not using any sort of technology or that can be traced back to you. So that's including cell phones, laptops, which meant that they could like limit down much more things. But I think that will only be for single player because they wouldn't be able to limit down all of that stuff because it would be like a constant EMP. There would be no UAVs, nothing. So I doubt that would be the case on multiplayer, but we don't actually know anything about multiplayer at the moment, so we'll have to see what we can find out in the next few days or whatever, how long it may be. But I took a guess that the single player may be that the Germans came back, and please bear in mind this is a complete guess, in the future and tried to claim the world back with a sort of Hitler Jr. and succeeded somehow, leaving only a small army. And the small army must hide, and they can they have to somehow take out the whole army with only their limited amount of soldiers left. But moving away from that topic now, I read something really weird because the Call of Duty series is meant to only be made from now on the 720 and the PS4. Now I found that extremely hard to believe because the fact that PC gamers would have to fund out lots of more money for graphic cards to move up to the levels of the next gen consoles, and the PS4, let's just say for example the PS3. Now when that came out it costed around £500, and I don't actually know specifically how much it cost because I didn't buy it, my parents bought it for me. But that's a lot of money for a console, and for less fortunate people involved in gaming, they would not be able to buy a console for £500 and a game for £60 because it's probably going to cost more because of the better graphics and the more time it took them to make it. Yeah, which is going to be more than £500, and for a game that is a lot of money. And I doubt that Activision would make their game a privilege to have, which would of course lower the amount of people who would buy it. Because if a lot of people can't afford a console in the game, it's going to split the time between the people buying it, and more than likely they're not going to buy the game if they can't play it, can they? So they'll buy the console, and then eventually a few months later they'll buy the game on Christmas because more than likely it's going to come out just before Christmas. So let's talk more into that now. I made a, let's say, educated guess that they could in fact make it on this 360 and on the PS3, but then on the 720 they give you, say, a serial code like the Nuketown 2025, and you enter that code and redeem it, and it downloads, say, a 5 to 7 gig file which upgrades everything in the game, the graphics and the whole aspect of it, to increase it to be the standards of an actual next gen console. Now I found that a great idea until the point when I read something else which actually said to me that the games are going to be compatible only with the 720s and not with the 360, so you can't go on Modern Warfare 2 on a 720. And this meant that they will either have to make a downloadable version of every game that was on the 360, in order for you to play it on the 720, which I find that would take a lot of time. They would have to pay more workers, and it would just end up being a silly idea, to be honest. But the 720, they're not going to make Call of Duty just for the 720, because a lot of people aren't going to be able to buy it. This is my opinion, by the way. So I guess that they make it for the 360, and they give you a code, as I said already, and you download the file, and it makes a massive difference to the game, so that people on their 360 can buy it. They won't have as great experience, but they'll still be able to play the game, and once they save up enough money for the 720, they can then buy that, because that makes much more logical sense due to the fact they're going to both release it pretty much at the same time. But then I read something that I thought they're not going to make a game on the 360 with a code on the 720, which means they're gonna have to make a download for every game that someone buys, meaning that for every game that comes out, maybe once a week a new game comes out, and they're gonna have to make a download for that on the marketplace, ready to go every time a new game comes out, which will mean they will have to employ a lot more workers to do so. So I don't actually know, and this is a lot of opinions and guesses, but I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if I find out anything else, I'll be the first one to tell you. Like, comment and subscribe. Peace.